How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Drew, and in this video I want to draw your attention to the state of Maine and its community colleges, because what is happening this fall is that their enrollment is up 12% compared to last fall, and in addition to that, this is an all-time high for them. So what is going on? What are they doing differently, and why is this happening? So for starters, there are a few key things that the state of Maine has done that has sort of led to this. And I think the biggest thing has been their free tuition program. So what had happened is last summer in 2022, the state passed a program that offered 2 free years of tuition for its residents to attend the community colleges and pursue their degrees. Now, this was only for graduating classes during what we would call the COVID years. So that was essentially 2020 through 2023. Now that's been successful, and they've actually extended this program through the classes of 2024 and 2025. So that is one significant reason why they are seeing an uptick in applications and enrollment. However, they've also looked at what the needs of their state are, and that comes through the workforce development. So they've noticed there is a large need in the labor market for healthcare jobs and engineering jobs. So they've really looked to refine what those career pathways mean in pursuit of those degrees that will get students and graduates connected to those jobs. So not only are you educating your population, but you're also meeting the workforce demands set in your area. And what is interesting about that is they've even gone what I would sort of say an extra step in going out to the high schools and making this very clear to the students of these are the jobs, and these are jobs that you may want, but here's how you get there. Here's the path through the courses and the degrees that we offer at these community colleges that will get you exactly to those spots. And I think that raising that awareness and that knowledge is also contributing to the boosted application numbers and the boosted enrollment. The other thing they've done as sort of a supplement to this is they've enhanced their student services. So they've hired more academic advisors, they've extended hours of their student centers, and they've really tried to enhance the opportunities for engagement and involvement of their students to enhance overall the student experience. And I think that's often overlooked personally. You cannot grow as an institution and bring in more faculty and bring in more students without augmenting the student services side as well, because these are your staff that are working with these students more frequently and more personally and helping them grow and develop and make meaning of their academic experiences. And what I personally liked about this was the mention of increasing the hours of their student centers. Because when I say all of this, how important it is to become involved and really take in the experience of the college journey, we still kind of operate on an 8 to 5 schedule. And this has happened throughout my entire career. Now, granted, there's student programming that happens on nights and weekends, but for the most part, a lot of these offices, so like academic advising, financial aid, 5 o'clock, they're closed. And that may not work for a lot of students, especially at community colleges. Students are going to class, they're working full time. They may only have free time to address these needs at 7 o'clock at night. Now, I don't know what these details are, but it would be interesting to see is, can you make an advising appointment for 7 o'clock at night and even over Zoom? Because I think that would be very convenient and very helpful in serving the students, which is what the role of the advisor and the student support staff really is. So I thought that was a very important piece, and I think it's going to be overlooked by many. Now, the other thing that they had done is they reevaluated what a lot of the gatekeeper courses were and sort of shifted the requirements in the degree programs to remove some of those gatekeeper courses that would otherwise prevent students from pursuing those paths. If you're not familiar with the term gatekeeper course, those are typically those introductory courses that have a lot of difficulty or high failure rates, or they serve as prerequisites to more advanced courses within a degree program. And really the best example is if you are pursuing pre-health, sort of the medical studies, you want to go to medical school or dental school or nursing, and you may have to take a pathophysiology or a pharmacology class at some point in order to get that degree. However, a prerequisite to those courses may be just your basic chemistry. And that's usually a sticking point for a lot of students. It's typically in that first year. And so you have a lot of students who are struggling in chemistry. And if they cannot pass chemistry, they cannot advance and they cannot pursue that dream of working in healthcare. And again, I don't know what the specifics are in terms of removing these gatekeeper courses, because that also considered some math courses as well. But I'd be curious to see what that looks like. Because the next thing, the next layer to that, what they've discussed is they train their faculty in how to handle more students who may not be academically prepared, but they have an eagerness to learn. And I think that goes hand in hand with the gatekeeper courses in a sense that, to a degree, technical skills can be taught, but they can only be taught to someone who is motivated to learn. So if you have someone who may not be at that academic level that they need to be, but they are very motivated and they are hungry to grow and develop, you can work with those people and you can get them to that level. So it's sort of an innovative and creative way of addressing this, and I'm really curious to see if this was just on a small scale or if it was across all of the typical gatekeeper courses within the degrees offered in the Maine community college system. Because I'm also want to know what is going to be the after effects of that. Is it going to work? Because at this point, when you have a lot of gatekeeper courses like that, and if it really is a sticking point in producing graduates, why not try it and see what happens? So I hope there is a follow-up to this, because I would really love to see that as well. So what's interesting also about increased enrollment in the community colleges in the state of Maine is that on the opposite end, at the four-year institutions, enrollment is still declining. And you might look at this and think that there might be creating some sort of adversarial relationship in terms of the 2 years seeing this boost in enrollment where the 4 years are sinking in a sense. But what they've really said is not really, is that it's boosted the relationship in a sense that the community colleges are hoping that students understand once they complete that degree that they can go on to transfer to a 4-year and further pursue their educational goals. So there really is still a stable relationship in spite of the opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of enrollment. So when I look at this scenario overall, it's an interesting, what I would almost call it a case study. And I think this is a perfect template for a lot of community colleges across the country to study. Now, I know demographically and in population-wise, the state of Maine is different from a lot of these other states, and also in terms of support from the state or from the local areas financially into the community college systems. That may have a heavy influence in how they operate, but I think their commitment to cleaning up career pathways, their commitment to raising awareness within the high school populations, and their commitment to improving the student success offerings or that experience for those students, that can be replicated. That can be done regardless of other political, socioeconomical, and financial factors within those states. And it was also interesting because the state is well aware that demographics are changing. And this is something I've talked about in many of my other videos, especially when I talk about Nathan Grau's books about the demographics in America. But this is key because the Maine community college system is recognizing this. Because a lot of institutions can talk about changing demographics, but actually acknowledging it and doing something about it is an entirely different story. So they are evolving with the changing demographics. And if you can evolve, if you can adapt, especially at a faster rate in higher education, you will succeed. So I think a lot of community colleges actually need to look at what Maine is doing and see what is possible. What can they copy and what can they make their own, and see if they can get some similar results. So that's all I have for you today in this video. If you liked it, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. And if you really liked it, then make sure you hit that subscribe button to continue to see more videos like this. And as always, with that, I will catch you in the next one.